Hey there, CRT here, and welcome to the 16th episode of Channel Battles. This is the series where two channels go head to head, and it's up to you to decide which channel is better.
In the previous episode, we had a battle between two channels that are launched as a result of the merger between UPN and the WB. Those channels are the CW and My Network TV. We have a total of 22 votes, which is 9 less than last time. But anyways, which channel is better? Well, you're about to find out. You guys had voted, and the winner of episode 15 is... Oh my god. 100% of the voters picked the CW. I can't believe I'm saying this, but for the first time in Channel Battles history, we have a knockout! And not only that, but the CW wins episode 15 of the series and will be moving on to the season 2 finale.
Holy hell! I can't believe the CW demolished My Network TV in a knockout. We never had any knockouts throughout the series until now. Congratulations, CW, you made history. I do feel bad for My Network TV though.
Yeah, even though I never watched My Network TV, it would make sense on being swept due to the many failures that the network suffered. But enough about that. In today's episode, it's going to be a bizarre battle.
Bizarre battle? What do you mean by that?
Just announce the channels and you'll find out.
Alright then. Anyways, it's a battle between ABC, which is owned by the Walt Disney Company, and... Wait a minute. ABC? So, ABC versus ABC? That's impossible!
Actually, it isn't. Both channels have the same abbreviation. However, both of them are from different countries. One of them is from America and stands for the American Broadcasting Company, and the other is from Australia and stands for the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. And that is why I called the battle bizarre, or whatever, I don't know.
Well, we have never seen a battle between two channels that have the same abbreviation. Well, I guess we have to deal with these two on this episode of Channel Battles.
Alright, so first up, we're taking a look at the American Broadcasting Company. Everyone knows that channel, right? It's the channel that is most notable for being featured in episode 1 of Logo Evolution. Anyways, the American Broadcasting Company, or ABC for short, is an American television network that is owned by the Walt Disney Company and is headquartered in Burbank, California. It all started when ABC was launched as a radio network on May 15, 1943, as a successor of Blue Network, a radio network that was owned by NBC before it was purchased by Edward J. Noble to become ABC. But shortly after, the network became a competitor to NBC and CBS, originally aired symphony performances and dramas. It was then launched as a television network on April 19, 1948, with the first program ever broadcast on the network being On the Corner. Since then, it launched many owned and operated stations, such as WJZ-TV in New York City, which was launched on the air on August 10, 1948. However, things are turning upside down for ABC, as it was on the verge of bankruptcy in 1949, due to its revenues failed to compensate for heavy investments. But that changed in 1951, when Edward J. Noble reached an agreement with Leonard Goldenson and the United Paramount Theater, or UPT, to acquire ABC. And thus, on February 9, 1953, the FCC approved UPT's purchase of ABC in exchange for $25 million in shares, and ABC and UPT would merge into American Broadcasting Paramount Theaters, Inc. This is good news for ABC, as the merger led to relationships with film production studios, such as MGM, Warner Bros., and 20th Century Fox. But the biggest relationship, however, is Walt Disney and his studio. Yeah, no surprises there. Fast forward to September 30, 1960, ABC premiered the famous Hanna-Barbera show, The Flintstones, which brings a rise to family-oriented programming on the network. Not only that, but almost 1 year later, ABC premiered the anthology series Wide World of Sports, which was created by Edgar Skerrick through his company, Sports Programs Incorporated. The network then purchased Sports Programs Inc., leading it to the creation of ABC Sports. But despite an increase in viewership share to 33%, the network remained in third place by revenues. So, ABC decided to order another animated series from Hanna-Barbera, The Jetsons, which debuted on September 23, 1962, as the network's first color series. In 1965, American Broadcasting Paramount Theaters was renamed as the American Broadcasting Companies and founded ABC Pictures in 1968, which is a film production company. Now, the 1970s are probably one of the most exciting decades for ABC, as earlier in the decade, it made a full transition to color, passing CBS and NBC in the ratings, and becoming the #1 network. In 1970, ABC debuted Monday Night Football, which became a hit for the network and served as the NFL's premier game of the week. On January 17, 1972, Elton Rule was named president and CEO of ABC, after Goldenson reduced his rule due to a heart attack, and produced new programming that became successful in ratings during 1977. Later that year, the separate news division, ABC News, became a global leader in television news. ABC dominated the American television landscape during the 1970s and the early 1980s. And, on August 9, 1982, ABC purchased a 10% stake in ESPN for $20 million in exchange for the interest. Now, in December 1984, Thomas S. Murphy, who was the CEO of Capital Cities Communications, contacted Goldenson about a proposal to merge their respective companies. He then accepted the offer, and on March 18 of the same year, Capital Cities purchased ABC for $3.5 billion. The merger formed Capital Cities/ABC Inc. In 1990, Daniel B. Burke took over Thomas S. Murphy's position as president, and Daniel Burke departed from Capital Cities/ABC in February 1994, with Thomas Murphy taking over as president. But then, on August 1st, 1995, things are changing entirely when the Walt Disney Company announced that it will acquire and merge with ABC from Capital Cities for $19 billion. The deal was approved on February 4, 1996, and was completed on February 9th. Due to that, Disney formed Disney Enterprises Inc. and renamed its new subsidiary ABC Inc. Unfortunately, ABC's average viewership declined during the 2003-04 season, landing the network in 4th place, behind NBC, CBS, and Fox. But somehow during the 2004-05 season, the network experienced some success with new series such as Lost, Grey's Anatomy, and Dancing with the Stars, and it rises to 2nd place. But the network declined in ratings again by 2010, with the final season of Lost being a flop in ratings. But it did see a successful expansion in its comedy lineup in the 2016-17 season, and acquired a breakout hit in the 2017-18 season with The Good Doctor. Heck, they even revived American Idol for the mid-season. As of now, ABC has 8 owned and operated and more than 230 affiliated television stations throughout the United States and its territories.
Watched by more people than any other network. ABC.
Alright, now let's talk about the other ABC in Australia, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation, or ABC for short, is a national broadcaster of Australia that was founded by a direct grant by the Australian government and is headquartered in Sydney, New South Wales. The broadcaster provides radio, television, online, and mobile services throughout Australia, being established on July 1st, 1932 by the Australian Broadcasting Commission Act of 1932, created 12 original radio stations throughout the country, and was originally named, the Australian Broadcasting Commission. During its first decades, ABC's programs consisted of random things such as music, news, sports, and other things. In November 1935, Sir Charles Moses was appointed General Manager at the age of 35 and will hold that position until 1965 when he retired. Fast forwarding to 1953, the Federal Television Act was passed, which provides a framework for both the ABC and commercial television networks. And thus, the first public television station in Australia opened in Sydney on November 5th, 1956, under the call sign ABN2. Not only that, but a broadcast studio in Sydney that was opened on January 29, 1958. During the late 1950s, ABC was one of the first television networks to embrace rock and roll, continuing to produce programs on music during the 60s and early 70s. Color television was then introduced in 1975, and within a decade, ABC had moved into cellular broadcasting. On July 1st, 1983, the organization was changed from the Australian Broadcasting Commission to the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, with the Australian Broadcasting Corporation Act of 1983, restructuring programming in comedy and social history. ABC Radio was also restructured in 1985, with ABC Radio 1 becoming the ABC Metropolitan Network and ABC Radio 2 becoming Radio National. Fast forwarding to May 6, 2001, the centenary of the Federation of Australia was celebrated, with the ABC fully digitalizing its production, post-production, and transmission facilities that same year. At the same time, ABC's multimedia division was renamed ABC New Media, becoming an output division of ABC alongside television and radio. After these events, the Fly TV and the ABC Kids channels were launched, showing programs that are aimed at teenagers and children. And 1 year later, on July 2002, ABC launched a new logo during its 70th anniversary. For the next few years, ABC launched and rebranded multiple channels. On March 7, 2005, ABC 2 was launched, providing a mix of comedy, drama, news, sports, and literally everything. ABC TV would then rebrand it into ABC 1 on February 8, 2008. And on the same year, ABC 3 was launched, which is a channel targeted at children. On July 22, 2010, ABC News, not to be confused with the one in America, was launched. And 4 years later, ABC 1 was reverted back to ABC TV. 2 years later, in 2016, ABC 3 was rebranded to ABC Me. Finally, on February 2019, Ida Botros was named chair of ABC.
Alright guys, now is the time to vote for which channel will win episode 16 of the series. Make sure to vote for either ABC or ABC in the latest poll on our community tab.
The channel with the most votes will win episode 16 and move on to the season 2 finale. Voting will end 48 hours after this episode gets uploaded. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like and subscribe for more quality content. And we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, guys.